I think it all now is starting to make sense, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. We're starting to put all the puzzle pieces together. I got some pretty crazy footage to show you in this video. Some stuff found on Google Earth. Some standard camera showing something pretty insane. I'll show you that as well. We're going to get into this interview of Brandon Fugal, who happens to own an infamous ranch where strange things happen. He was on Jesse Michels talking about Skinwalker Ranch and how a number of things are connected. And it's what we were thinking, okay? He's not even a Christian at all. He's I don't know what he is, but he doesn't believe in that, from what I can tell. We're talking about aliens, ghosts, portals. He's literally saying all this stuff was on the ranch. And it's like all in some strange way connected to the Book of Enoch. And this guy is not even a believer, which is kind of strange. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into this clip from Joe Rogan with Anna Paulina Luna. We're going to get into also some other ones, some other clips as well. And this seems to all tie it together and show you what's really going on around us with these strange UFO sightings, these weird species of aliens that they keep telling us about. And I've shown in the past how they seemingly are related to what some of these ancient cultures, Mayans and other, American Indians and others, actually Brazilian, South American Indians, but they're actually literally know about these, what we call aliens. And we even have it in the scriptures themselves. We're going to get into that as well on the tail end. First, let's go into this here from Google Maps. A giant creature discovered in Antarctica. Check this out. This is pretty crazy, actually. I have to turn off the music. So he zooms in here. This is an island. All right. And he zooms in. Let me get it a little closer so you can see it. He shows something in there. Look at that. What the hell is that? It looks like it looks like something with legs, as you can see there. 1, 2, 3, 4 at least legs. I guess it could be some weird dilapidated hut that's on stilts. That doesn't even make any sense, but it looks more like it could be some giant creature. Who knows what that is? Why would that be in the middle of nowhere in Antarctica? Almost no one lives on that piece of ice, right? It's just kind of crazy. And I showed this, I think, over, I don't know what channel I showed this on. Let me see here. Let me see what channel I showed this on. I showed it on my business channel. Check this out. This is pretty crazy. This is SpaceX. So recently, a StarX rocket blew up before it even launched. And in this footage, you'll see something fly by right when it occurs. Okay. You're going to see something fly by. Let's see if I can get it on the screen better. This is not on the screen good. Let me do this. Maybe that'll help. Yeah, let's do it like that. There we go. Check this out. Let's play this real quick. You can see it fly by. You see that go by super fast? See it right there? And this blows up exactly when it flies by. Right there. Boom, boom. And then you see this. It's only on like 3 frames. What could that be? And the fact that it goes by exactly when this occurs makes you think it may have caused it. Right? Could very easily be what it caused it. What is that? Is that one of those hypersonic sort of drones or something? Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It's so weird though, right? We have this interview on Danny Jones of Andy here talking about the group of entities called the Nine, or the Council of Nine. And he claims that they control the universe and that our GOV is apparently scared of them. He claims they represent the 9 forces of nature and that different people have channeled these entities. And this is what I'm talking about. So I find it very curious how in the past people would channel spirits and now they're channeling aliens. So apparently spirits and aliens are one and the same thing. Well, that's what you're going to start to realize when you watch some of these interviews of people that are dealing with this stuff for even over a decade, who don't even have, they're not even religious. They're just trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. And it's really interesting that it seems like these entities want to control information as well. Very similar to what we saw in the book of Enoch, where the Watchers come down and to garner these women, they decided to mate with women, right? They made a pact, 200 of them on Mount Hermon, to go after and create offspring with women, right? And they would make deals with people. They would give them secrets if they would do something for them. And they would control information this way, control technology. And this is where we got a lot of the knowledge now, or not exactly what you could call good knowledge, how to create war, how to do various things that may be nefarious from these quote unquote entities, right? Here we have Andy talking about the Council of Nine. Check this out.
Yeah.
And
so what were the 9?
So okay. It's complex, but apparently they're a group of entities that are basically overseeing the universe, I guess is the simplest way to say.
Okay, so they're aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Aliens are like divine spirits.
More like divine spirits.
Oh, okay.
Because they've never really said, we look like this or we're shaped like
They
this.
had a
It's more,
spokesman called Tom.
They never said we're from Zeta Reticuli or
No.
no.
Okay.
They're more of like, and just an intelligence that can be contacted through this method of trance. And that they're...
So it's so weird that we find stuff like this. And it reminded me of Jack Parsons, the guy that created Jet Propulsion Laboratories, who was doing rituals out in the desert before he started making rockets. Right? You have this weird sordid history with stuff like this. Science, or is it science? Science and rituals. What rituals? Ancient rituals related to beings, spirits, aliens. You heard that guy, whatever they are. We don't know. We just contact them and ask them questions, right? We don't know what they are. We have here Brandon Fugel told Jesse Michels the unseen forces such as demigod beings that are actively trying to thwart, delay, or deceive the investigators who are investigating the Skinwalker Ranch. He said that he has looked into ancient mythologies to try to understand why this keeps happening. He saw a pattern with concepts such as the Holy of Holies, sacred knowledge, where he thinks that these beings are trying to restrict access to primordial knowledge that they don't want mortals knowing about. This is exactly what was said in the book of Enoch, where these divine beings have access to information that they want to monopolize and control when they have to choose who gets for certain favors.
It's interesting, in a lot of different traditions, if you're trying to get to the sacred knowledge or kind of the holiest of holies, there are demigod beings guarding that knowledge. And there's a resistance to you getting there. And so do you sometimes think about that or this in that context?
We have people that approach us, very respected leaders, people that have different perspectives on what is happening. I mean, we've had people that come from various traditions that claim that the data shows that it's a jinn that what we're dealing with is a jinn or similar.
You mean a demon? So essentially, isn't it a Muslim version of that? Supernatural beings created from smokeless fire. A jinn, right? Isn't that considered a demon in Islam or something like that? So they are contacting these beings and they're trying to withhold knowledge, but only for certain people do they get this knowledge, which is very similar to the Book of Enoch. It's literally the same thing. It's the same as a lot of these legends also in various ancient cultures about beings giving out information and having offspring, things of this nature. We got here also another aspect of this interview. Brandon Fugel, who bought the infamous Skinwalker Ranch back in 2016, just said that aliens, time travel, and supernatural spirits are all deeply connected with one another, mentioning how the electromagnetic anomalies that take place on the ranch are off the charts. This proves what we've been saying for years, how there's a deep connection between all these things. If you read ancient texts like the Book of Enoch, 1st and 2nd Enoch, the Book of Giants, and the Sibylline Oracles.
I think it's all interconnected. So when people ask me, is it aliens? Do you think it's aliens, beings from other worlds, or interdimensional, multidimensional? Is it time travel? Are we seeing time travelers, people coming back, our future selves watching us? Or is it spiritual? Are we dealing with angels and demons or some type of advanced consciousness? I think it's all the above. I think what we're seeing here, just as much as I've witnessed the nuts and bolts. I mean,
So now the pre-approved, I think, method of looking at this, I think from those at the top, is that they are us from the future coming back to help us out. These grays, these tall ones, they're us after a cataclysm, and they've been living for thousands and thousands of years in caves. That's why they look the way they do, and that's why they're so fragile looking. Of course, I think this is what they initially intended for us to believe, is that it's us in the future coming back to help us. That's probably what the original blueprint for their deception was. I think a lot of people have saw through that. I think that's fallen apart. So now they're just playing this ambiguous game instead. Oh, what do you spirits, entities, aliens, whatever they are. Who knows? I don't know what the frick they are. But they're helping us. They give us advanced technology. Right? That sounds kind of familiar. All these watchers coming down, giving us advanced tools, advanced knowledge, almost like it's the exact same thing. And of course, also in the past, my researcher was pointing out that even in the BC time frame in Egypt, allegedly they had technology that was similar to computers back then. And I didn't have it pulled up. Let's see if I can find that real quick. I think it might be this one here. Is this the one? This might be it right here. Let's see what we got here. Let me look at this one real quick. The owner, Brandon Fugel, just said that the ranch sits on a stargate and portal to an interstellar highway where beings can travel to other locations very fast. So this is exactly what we see with these ancient legends from the American Indians. We see it from a lot of cultures all across the world, actually. The Greeks, we have Babylon, the Sumer. Well, we even see it in the scriptures with the high places. The high places would be on mountains usually. They would have gateways to other realms in these places. And that's what Mount Hermon was. It's supposed to be the gates of Hades or the gates of Pan. Literally where Jesus stood and said, "On this rock shall I build my church," meaning I conquered their portal. I'm turning it into my portal now. See what I mean? So these are all deeply interconnected. There's tons of different stories I've heard from a lot of different historical cultures. talking about these type of portals or gates or whatever you want to call them. And it's interesting because even the Tower of Babel was supposed to be some sort of gate to enter the heavens. Now, obviously some people, they misunderstand it thinking, oh, they're building a tower to heaven, meaning like literally the tower is going to reach heaven. That was not really the intent. The tower was to build a high place to where they could build this portal or gate to reach the heavens. That was the idea. And God confused the languages, and that was because man was one and they were all seeking the same thing, but it wasn't a good thing. So this guy's saying his ranch is also one of these places where it's like a interstellar spiritual highway, some sort of gate to other realms. And let's just watch this really quick. See what he has to say. He says that when you come on the ranch, GPS and satellite clocks start to malfunction, where this proves that there's a massive distortion of reality on the ranch. Pugo also said he hired a team of scientists to look into why this happens on the ranch. It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle or something.
We're talking about not just a witness, but they have documented with camera surveillance and other means the reality of the hitchhiker effect. That is,
the hitchhiker effect is... So, you know what's so weird about all this? You could easily find stories, spiritual stories that all tie into this. These aliens seem to be working very similar to how angels and demons work. He's talking about this hitchhiker thing. He's referring to if you go to the ranch and you go back to your house, something follows you home. You'll start seeing entities. You'll start seeing cryptids around you. You'll start seeing ghosts. You'll start seeing aliens. Because they're all connected. See what I mean? It's so weird. He literally says this in the interview. I can't play all these clips. I mean, I don't want to play too much because I don't know if they're going to want to copyright it or something on me. Hopefully I didn't have to cut anything out while you're watching it here. But the fact of the matter is, this has been well documented on the ranch. You go there, things follow you home. And of course, this sounds just like a haunted house. It's the same stuff. It's literally the same stuff. It relates to these stories in ancient cultures. It relates to what Scripture says. It's pretty crazy, actually, when you think about it. You have here Anna Paulina Luna talking about the book of Enoch on Joe Rogan. Check this out.
Like, explain the nuttiness of the book of Enoch to people.
Well, it's okay. So if you read it, it talks about the fall of angels, thus creating really the precursor of civilization that led to the first flood. I think that when you even go into potentially the technology that was given to mankind by these angels, it talks about the hidden...
The technology. You see that? Literally what we're talking about here. You don't think people today are making deals with these quote-unquote entities? For, of course, it's kind of weird how much technology we've gotten over the last 100 years. Compared to thousands of years of time where they didn't have this type of technology, or maybe they did in some cases in the antediluvian world, where there's been shown things that look like computers, maybe primitive in some respects, but they've shown in the ancient past strange technologies that are unexplained to this day. How did they build some of these behemoth structures, these walls? How did they cut these stones so precisely, like the Great Pyramid, which is still unexplained to this day how it was built? Joe Rogan also is obsessed with trying to figure that one out as well. But I think now the stuff we're learning might be a better explanation. Perhaps it wasn't just humans with crude tools. Perhaps there's a little bit more other things going on, whether it's divine or not, or fallen technology that might have built it, right? And so I was talking before about a clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson mentioning that there were 7 different alien species. I showed the clip in a previous video. He was talking about the Greys, Nordic, insectoids, all these, right? And what was really interesting about it, I think it was on Diary of the CEO when he mentioned this. I mentioned how the Brazilian Indians knew what these beings were. I showed some footage not too long ago of one in a cave. What was interesting also is these insect ones, and also the ones that look like lions. There's actually ones that look like lions apparently as well. Where is that one at? Yeah, here it is. He showed one like this too, that there's an alien species that looks like lions. And I was like, that's really curious because in the Bible, there's literally a section, I think it was 2 Samuel 24. 24 lion-like men. I think it was 2 Samuel. Was it that one? It was second. 2 fierce champions of Ariels of Moab defeated King's mighty warrior, and they looked lion-like. If I can find it. Yeah, lion-like men of Moab. So there's a lot of connections here with that as well. And I got into it in a previous video, but I'm going to have to end it here. I kind of want to know what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.